Welcome to ET Connections. I'm Melanie.
And I'm Ian.
And we wanted to retell what happened with us last night.
Just last night. I could not wait to make this video and tell you guys what happened last night.
So I was meditating before bed, and I was getting really deep into it, and was having telepathic communications with an ET group. And they were very friendly, and they're just like, go to sleep. And I'm like, no, I can't. I really want to shower.
I was in the shower at the time.
He was in the shower. But I just remember that they were there and that they really wanted to interact. They had a very strong presence in the room. It's funny that I actually can't fully remember what we were talking about at this point.
Well, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, so...
How about the touching? Mention that.
Oh, right. So because the communication was so clear, I had asked, you're welcome to, of course, drink or eat anything in the house, kind of a deal. And had asked, you're also welcome to touch me. And I had something touched my head, and then something also touched my hand. And I was completely calm, perfectly fine, like, all right. I'm like, so I was totally okay with that. And then when the meditation was over, because it was that deepness where you could literally just go out. It was that deep. But I kind of roused myself out of it and decided to go have a very quick rinse. So I approached the bathroom and, came inside and I'm like, hi, hun. And he's like...
Did you come in twice? Because I had no idea she was even out there getting any sort of communication at all. I was just in the shower, just kind of relaxing, and I saw darkness out of my right eye as if the door had been opened to the darker bedroom that it's connected to, and so all the light would go out and it'd be darker on that side. But when I looked, the door was totally closed. 3 or 4 seconds later, she opened the door, that same darkness occurred, and I'm like, did you open the door 2 times?
I'm like, I don't recall opening the door twice. So I'm like, nope, I'm pretty sure I only opened the door once.
Yeah, so it was almost kind of like a premonition in a way. And so we got all cleaned up and we got out of the bathroom area. We went to the bed.
Oh, and I'm like, oh, wait, by the way, honey, we have company.
Oh, yeah, because I had asked for that. And she's like, well, we do have company. So I thought, all right, great. And so then we went to bed and we thought perhaps they would work with us in dream time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now I'm suddenly remembering that they had said that they wanted to work with me. And they're like, yeah, we... And so one of the things that he and I do is that we ask if we can invite the other. And so I'm like, well, can Ian come along? And then they're like, sure, yeah, so they were totally fine with it. And so I just wanted to add that in.
Yeah. And so we're settling in bed. We're laying there. It's dark. Eyes are closed. And we hadn't even kissed goodnight yet. We're just kind of laying there. And then suddenly we had our long, loose bookshelf, which was leaning against a wall and leaning against some molding against the door.
Which was thick molding.
Thick molding. It's like a half-inch thick. It suddenly just released and hit all of our blinds with this loud crash and slammed
into the blinds.
Yeah. And actually, you know what? I'll show you right now. All right, so this is the bookshelf, and I put it back the way it was. I had it last night. As you can see, I have it down here. It was on some of that doggy stuff over there and against the dresser. But up here, I had it right here on the molding, just like this was. So for it to have come out, it needed to have been pulled like this. And so what we had heard last night was... And so, yeah, we jumped a little, that's for sure.
So one of the things is it is natural to be startled. So please don't assume like, oh my gosh, I have all this fear I can't get rid of. It's being startled is okay. Like, it's just being startled. It's how fast can you recover from it? How fast when you realize that it's your company, that you're like, oh, okay, we're good. That sort of thing.
And then after that, we kind of, calmed down, and we felt like it was sort of as to help us move through even more fear. There's a lot of fear blockages when it comes to CE5, and that was just another one that we were able to move through. And we thought, oh, let's go outside. We came outside and looked at the beautiful stars for a few minutes.
Well, they were very insistent to come outside.
Right. And I mean, there was nothing that really happened out here, and it was very cold. So we're like, we're going inside, guys.
But I think it's also a matter of perhaps they want to see how, because there's one thing having telepathy in your mind, because when it's in your mind, there is a part of you that can keep disapproving it, going, there's that part of you that can just not believe because it's still in your mind. And so I think that one of the things that they do once in a while is ask you to go somewhere or come somewhere to see, do you actually believe what you are hearing? Do you actually believe this conversation is real? And so I felt that was really the purpose of why we were asked to come outside. And when we did come outside, we saw it was to look at their ship. They're like, our ship's outside. Because I kept having the visual of this huge ship over our home. And when we went outside, there was this very strange cloud that was rectangular with like sharp edges. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's them.
It was the only one in the sky.
So I was like, okay. So went back inside after that because it was very cold. And I'm like, great, thanks, but I'm sorry, I really need to go inside. We're way too cold. So we went back inside and got back in bed where it was nice and warm. But then we heard a rustling, moving sound, like someone was just moving something very slightly.
Yeah, almost like it was like paper sliding on something very rustly, and it happened like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, I only remember the one.
No, I kept hearing it.
Oh, well, by that point, so for me, what happened was that at the wrestling, I felt unnerved, but I was able to go, no, it's really okay. And so I was able, one of the things for me was, working through, no, and I was able to pull it back really quickly, actually. And from there, I fell asleep probably within a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that
because
wrestling...
I was like, no, I'm safe, and it's safe to go to sleep. And one of the things that when you've had contact, you can ask them, which we both did, ask for, that they're welcome to come into the dream state and work with you. I fell asleep, maybe that's why I didn't hear the other ones, because I was comfortable enough to just go to sleep. And
well, to be fair, she was laying on one ear too, and I was laying on my back, so I had both ears open, and I heard the rustling on like 4 different occasions, all within probably a maybe 2-minute span. And then after that final louder one, she's like, is that you? I said, no, it is our friends. And so after that, I felt that they were done and that we needed to go to sleep. And we did so. And I had just a freaking awesome dream of, it felt like contact. It felt like a testing in a way. Usually most of my dreams, I'm looking at myself third person, so I'm like behind my body watching myself do things. But this dream, I was first person, like seeing out of my own eyes, seeing my hands and body below and in front of me. And it was like a video game style where I could see 4 different characters on the menu, and I chose the top character and went into this like virtual reality game. And it, in this wakeful state, I can say that it was about non-attachment. And I had maneuvered through the obstacles. It's difficult to describe what they were at this time, but they were like very mundane things. And it was just about letting go, non-attachment. Eventually I would find a button and I would press it and it would take me to the next level. And I got through all the levels successfully and then came out of it to the menu where those 4 characters were. And then my character like lit up in gold and poofed with fireworks, and it'd say, congratulations, you did it, kind of a thing, which was pretty cool. So I woke up stoked about that.
And, when I woke up, I couldn't really remember my dreams. And what I could remember, sometimes, and this actually happens a lot, is where you'll wake up, you won't remember what happened, but you're like, I know I had contact though. So you'll know that it had happened, which is what happened for me. And what's funny is that I also had a non-attachment test, or I don't know if it's a test or if it's just an experience, but mine was non-attachment to not remembering my contact dreams because I want to remember them. And so for me, and then later in the morning, we did another meditation, and they're like, look, you know, you both had actually very similar experiences where it was about this non-attachment. And I was like, you know, and so they just kind of laid it out, and I definitely felt that they were there again to just kind of walk through why what happened. It was, you know, profound in that way. So even if you don't have a contact dream or you're frustrated, you did have a dream and you did have an experience, but maybe there's something else that needs to be addressed through non-attachment, and that will then open up the door. And even if it doesn't, that's okay. Maybe what's happening in the dream state, you know, it's being kept from your conscious mind for a reason, and that's okay. And so that's where we practice the letting go. It's like, it's okay that I am where I am. It's okay that I'm, you know, not consciously remembering. You can ask, I always ask, you know, please let me remember what I'm meant to remember. And, you know, that is our divine free will to ask for those things. And what you do remember is what you were meant to remember.
So thanks for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. We tend to do this kind of stuff a lot.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.